with a more or less requested video. So first two things, big shout out to Koah for helping me make this video. Second shout out to Mystery Man for requesting it. So this is going to be kind of a um, essentially a follow-up video to my War Symbiotes versus Brotherhood 2.0 fight. Now, if you watch that video, my symbiotes did get crushed. Um, they were easily kind of wiped out by that Brotherhood team, and that was a situation where my Brotherhood team rather, or I'm sorry, my symbiote team rather, was much higher than the Brotherhood team. However, they weren't able to overcome that turn one blind from Magneto. So essentially, at the time, my anti-venom, I believe, was a lot weaker. I want to say he was in probably the 50k range. I have since then gotten him to 6 gold stars, gotten him to gear tier 12, I believe. So he's definitely a more of a force to be reckoned with than he previously was. So just kind of going in and seeing how this team stacks up against Brotherhood. This is Brotherhood 1.0, so not exactly the same fight I did in War. In the 2.0 team, you do have kind of that big blob to kind of counterbalance with. So we will see, how it's able to go. Also, secondly, Koa is obviously a human player, so he is going to handle his team kind of a lot different than I believe the AI would. Now, as far as raw power, these two are pretty close. I'm at 450. Koa is at 445. So a very close team. My basic thing with this is symbiotes are really probably going to have a hard time with anyone that is able to kind of give them a freeze on turn one, or any team that has a strong cleanse mechanic, such as the Marauders. So let's kind of see what we can do. Now, you did notice I am already blinded, so my first turn is not going to do anything. So I'm going to see if I can kind of overcome this blind. That's really the team's biggest kind of weakness. Now, with the war fight, the other problem too is they did go after my anti-venom, and my anti-venom was killed pretty early. So looks like we didn't get that issue this time. And let's see. We are going to go in and apply, I think, immunity to everyone. I think that should kind of help us out a little bit. The reason I didn't use anti-venom's ultimate is essentially right now there are no negative debuffs on the field for me to flip. Now with this team, they do have kind of a strong kind of bleed, especially with Pyro and Sabretooth. So that was kind of my logic on maybe counteracting that. But let's see if we are able to kind of overcome this first really bad initial turn. Um, so now that Juggernaut does not have, he still is able to resist a bit. If we can get some debuffs on the team, we can maybe start moving a little bit. But as of right now, so far, I am still running into kind of the same issue with this team. So we did just lose Anti-Venom again. This might simply be a maybe an issue with how I'm kind of initially playing, but let's see if we are able to kind of get something going. With Juggernaut having those strong kind of, he does have high resistance, so it is really kind of hard to land any debuffs on him. Um, and really, this team does not start really kind of steamrolling until you kind of get someone into the red health or 25%. So if I can get someone to 25%, I should be able to kind of get to moving, but it's really just kind of getting to that point. So we were able to get Sabretooth. I am going to go ahead and try to keep these debuffs going, and we are moving now at this point, so I'm going to try to extend these debuffs. Symbiote Spider-Man should heal a little bit, so I think now at this point I should be able to finish this fight off, but you are really still going to run into, I think, issues with essentially those kind of high resistance tanks. So while this team was able to kind of outlive Brotherhood for the most part. I'm still not too sure how they would do with actually the current Brotherhood 2.0 team. Um, so they can handle Brotherhood 1.0 in the hands of a human player. Um, Now, as far as Brotherhood 2.0, I'm still kind of skeptical about it, just because you are dealing with Juggernaut and Blob. Um, Give me just a second, y'all. And so I still kind of remain skeptical with how they would be able to deal with kind of the 2.0 team. Essentially, my thinking behind that is there are two high resistance tanks. Um, and you saw kind of how hard it was for them to deal with just one high resistance tank. So I would actually definitely like to further test that. As of right now, I kind of still land on. I do still think that Brotherhood 2.0 is going to be a solid counter to the symbiotes, especially in the hands of a player. So yeah, that's I guess my thoughts for the moment. Certainly more than happy to further test out this theory and see how it goes. If anyone has a strong Brotherhood 2.0 team, certainly happy to give that a whirl. And again, if you guys want to see any additional future content, feel free to let me know. Hope everyone is enjoying the Anti-Venom event. And if you want to see anything else, again, feel free to reach out to me on Discord at Khaleesi, in-game, mini college, or cars, or Khaleesi. And any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to your Alliance leadership. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe it. And hope y'all are having a good one. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good day.